Three-way.
Yes.
The dynamic duo.
What's up, baby?
What is going on? Listen, 4 easy steps on correcting these Jets.
Okay.
First thing, you got to lose all 3 games because you wanted the best pick. So playing Simeon is the best move unless you could get Boyle back.
Well, they got no choice to play him, but that's probably going to happen. Go ahead.
Okay. The next move is you draft the best offensive lineman. Okay. And do I trust Douglas in picking the choice of the 3? I don't know.
You're supposed to. Isn't it supposed to be his ballywick, right? He's supposed to know offensive linemen. It hasn't worked so far.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can't see. Okay, I'm tagging Beckham. I'm tagging him.
Are you?
Because, yes, I am. And I'm putting him in the left tackle. I'm putting the rookie at right tackle. And as soon as Beckham gets hurt, I'm going to take the rookie and put him in left tackle.
Where's Elijah Vera Tucker playing next year, Art?
Guard.
Oh, you want him at guard?
As soon
Okay.
as one of the other guys gets hurt, he's going to play tackle.
But it's easier to find a guard than it is an impact tackle. He could be a good tackle.
Yes, but I mean, his position is guard. So I got the rookie tackle on the right side. I got Beckham on the left. I'm putting the tight end, which they never do, next to Beckham so you can help him out. What's his name? The kid from Ohio State. I don't know. Can we get a bleak? You know what's funny? Try to compare this team to the Sanchez team. Sanchez wasn't a great quarterback. They had a great offensive line. You know what nobody talks about is Tony Richards. He was so underrated. You need a bleeping. If you're going to have a running game, you need a fullback. This guy Bowman's been here for 7 bleeping years. You see him once in a while. So can we get?
He plays a lot, actually. And he's back, by the way. Nick Borton's back.
Right.
Remember there was all that outrage a couple of days ago. He's back.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? And then they gave a stat on Miami. I don't know, I'm rambling on. They're the best in the red zone, right? You don't have a running quarterback. You know what you have? You have a legit offensive line, and you got hard runners, strong runners. That's the key. And the different, like misdirection and stuff like that. Okay, forget it. I'm on the tackle. Now I need a quarterback. I'm going to the Giants and getting him cheap. Taylor. I know he gets hurt a lot.
Boy.
You have a choice. You can get Taylor. You could get Tannehill. You could get Meacham, whatever it's going to cost a lot. I would go all out and try to convince Baker Mayfield come to New York and be the guy after Rodgers is gone. That would be me because I think he's got the personality perfect for the Jets. Okay, if I can't get those guys, I'm settling on Taylor. That's my backup. I'm going wide receiver, and I'm trying to get Devontae out for what any future picks. I don't know what they too much. I go get Higgins or bring Mike Evans, which I originally wanted. I'm going to go see once the Rams get knocked out. I'm going to go see what they want for Aaron Donald. I'm putting him next to Quinton so we can stop the bleep and run, which we can't do. And I don't want to see Sherwood as an outside linebacker. I got to get somebody. I don't want to see Westhead. We drafted the LSU kid. I think he can play. I don't even know who he is. I just know he's LSU. He can play. Play him the next 3 games and see what he can do, please. Okay. And what was the last thing I'm going to do?
I don't know. That's like an 8-part plan already, though, Art.
No, it's 3. Offensive tackle, quarterback, wide receiver. Come on.
Right.
We're right there.
Art,
Listen,
love you.
I think we go, and fire the offensive line coach.
Okay.
Because somebody needs a scapegoat. Listen, this guy obviously he hasn't done a good job. Whoever the hell he is. I love you guys.
Thanks a lot, Artie. So, listen, I don't know if Tyrod Taylor is going to work, or Baker Mayfield for that matter, although he is playing well for Tampa.
Why would Tampa let him go after the season that he's had?
And why would he accept a position to sit and wait until Aaron's done? Aaron wants to play this year and next year. Baker Mayfield's going to be able to find a job as a starter, probably stay in Tampa, if not Tampa, someplace else next year, not sit there and wait for 2 years. But, yeah, the offensive line's got to get fixed. The quarterback that can do well in the red zone. I think Devontae Adams is on the table, right? if they get for the right price. But there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want him too.
I lost track, like I said, with all those different plans that he was throwing out there. But I mean, there's going to be change. I don't care who you are, whatever team it is. When you have a season like the Jets have had this year, there's going to be some changes.
Of course,
more than just Aaron Rodgers being healthy. There's going to be changes.
You're going to see some coaches get let go
Absolutely.
too. I mean,
Somebody's
not
going to
the
be the
big
fall
guys.
guy.
I mean, but I think the mainstays, OC, defensive coordinator, head coach, general manager, are all going to stay the same. But there's going to be other moves that are going to happen. You're going to have to do it because even with Aaron Rodgers, this team wasn't good enough to make a deep run or go to the Super Bowl. Speaking of Super Bowl, Jordan in Paramus has some Super Bowl predictions. What do you got?
Hey, Don. Hey, Don and Dan. How are we?
Hello, Jordan.
So I was just curious on what your Super Bowl predictions were. I'll tell you mine in a second. But going into the year, I thought the AFC would be the powerhouse conference. And it really has seemed like the NFC's taken that lead with like a three-headed horse in San Fran, Dallas, and Philly. And I don't see a way the San Fran team can lose currently. I mean, they've been
Not
incredible.
healthy.
Well, the NFC is top-heavy. That's the problem with the NFC. It's top-heavy with those few teams, but then the rest of it is kind of just all mediocre, right? I mean, and that's really the NFL as a whole. There's a lot of mediocrity in this league right now.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the fact of the quarterback injuries, right? Why is the AFC so wide open now? Well, you took Cincinnati, that was a major player. They lose their starting quarterback. Goodbye. We thought Watson was going to be healthy all year. Didn't happen in Cleveland, so that changes of what's happening in Cleveland. We'll see if Flacco can clean up the mess. So when you start losing quarterbacks, Dan, that's going to change things. But he's right. I mean, San Francisco, if they stay healthy, that's the team to beat clearly in the NFC.
San Francisco, Baltimore was my pick at the beginning of the season, and it looks good, but you never know what could happen. But I'll repeat what I told you before the show, because I was looking into it, just obviously because of the quarterbacks and the injuries, to your point. Do you know how many teams out there this year in the NFL have had to start multiple quarterbacks this season? 19.
That's amazing.
19
That's more
teams.
than half the league.
And do you know how many teams have had to start at least 3 different quarterbacks this year? 7. Which is almost a quarter of the league.
That's incredible. That a third string is playing.
And there's a few teams that Jets will be starting their 4th coming up on Sunday.
The great Greg Buttle will join us next, right here on the Michael Kay Show on Yes and 98.7 ESPN New York.
Folks, the league is in absolute chaos.
Players going off pretty much every other night.
Playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers.
It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry in. Don't let these deals get away. During final days, lease an Elantra for $199 a month or get 1,000 bonus cash. New inventory arriving daily. Offers end January 2nd.
10 years ago, we started Untuck It out of my apartment, and today we have more than 80 stores worldwide. It's been quite a journey. We didn't just create shirts designed to be worn untucked, we perfected them. With great fabrics and design at the perfect untucked length, so you can look sharp in this new business comfortable world. Just look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Find the perfect holiday gift at untuckit.com today.
Dive into the world of Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from more than 600 pitchers. Training that simulates all game situations and head-to-head action with family and friends. Master your timing, pitch recognition, and hitting mechanics with expert coaching.
Let's see the progress.
So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
If you watch Yes Network on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download the app to stream the Nets and experience the game in a whole new way. With a live stat overlay to track your favorite players. Free-to-play gaming with big cash prizes. And earn and redeem rewards for gift cards and gear. So remember, if you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
Tight ends play. I think the guy that's going to have more impact on the game is C.J. Uzomah.
Conklin. Conklin would be a big guy today. I'm going with Tyler Conklin, tight end.
Tyler Conklin. I think he's going to be a big part today.
I'm going with Tyler Conklin.
I think Tyler Conklin's the guy.
Congratulate him on being inducted into the Ocean Rowing Hall of Fame.
You only get that from one person only, and that is the great Greg Buttle. He joins us here on the K Show with Don and Dan. How are you, buddy?
All I can tell you is, listen, I don't say this about Dan because I see him every day, but I miss you, buddy.
I miss you, too.
Something. We had a hell of a run together. We had some fun times. Road trips during the playoffs. Yes. That was awesome.
What are those?
That's so funny. I had him sitting down with the governor for 2 hours in the airport in Indianapolis.
It's one of the great moments of my life.
Which governor of what state?
We're stranded after the championship game in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Like 6 feet of snow fell, and we got stuck there for 6 hours. And for 2 of those hours, outside, I believe it was like a Fridays or a Chili's, we sat down with George Pataki for 2 hours, talked about string theory. I mean, it was amazing. Greg, was it not awesome or what?
It was the best. George is walking by. He sees Don and me sitting there, and I know George through the great Senator Alphonse D'Amato, and he comes over. He sits down with us, and we had food, we had drinks, and we're sitting around just talking about everything. And I tell you what a way to spend a playoff loss after that game than sitting there with the great governor George Pataki.
I don't think I ever heard that story. So you got Buttle, LaGreca, and Pataki rocking the TGI Fridays sampler, the appetizer sampler.
It was awesome.
Meanwhile, we almost had our Buddy Holly moment, too, because while that's all happening, Mike Lupick is running over and saying, hey, guys, you guys want to share a private jet so we can get out of here? And I'm like, does the snow fall differently on the private jet? I think
so. Mike Lupick was the big bopper,
right?
Oh gosh.
So Greg, I was thinking before, what to ask you, and I was like, you know what? I think the Jets really have a chance to beat the Commanders if they can really establish the run. If they establish the run, Greg, I think they got an excellent chance to win this game.
Man, you are bucking.
You're saving the material for Sunday. You're saving, or you're using it all up.
I got to tell you something. I laugh when I hear that come out of guys' mouths. Former players is, you got to run the ball. No, you don't. This game is not about running the ball. This game is about throwing it. It's throwing touchdowns. They score 70% of their points in the red zone. They score throwing the ball in the red zone. And the only place you really need to run the ball is short yardage.
Yep.
Goal line and in the red zone. If you do it there, you're winning all the time.
Right, and if you're nursing a 2-touchdown lead with 4 minutes to go, you can run the ball. Go ahead.
Right, exactly what I'm talking about. It's so simple. The game is simple. It's not confusing.
So if I would have told you back in, because we were talking about this a little while ago, if I would have told you back in August that on Christmas Eve when the Jets in Washington were getting ready to play, that Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson both would be declared out for the game, what would you think was happening that day?
I would have thought you reverted back to that drug habit you used to have. And that you no longer have, Dan.
Yeah, I kicked it. No, but like Don and I were joking around. It's like you probably would have thought, like, oh, boy, the Jets have everything wrapped up already. That the season's going better than anybody could have ever imagined. That they're resting guys.
I will tell you something, and just so we're all on the same page. That's what the millions of Jet fans were thinking was going to happen. And after that first 4 plays of the Jet game and the first game, oh, my God, it destroyed the whole season. For all of the Jet fans, it doesn't matter what they did. It was destroyed from that day on, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and the injuries kept piling up.
I was saying this earlier in the week. If you want to be positive, look at 2023 as a dress rehearsal for 2024. All right, you lost Aaron Rodgers, but you can find out now what's wrong. Because if Aaron Rodgers was healthy, I'm not sure this season would have ended as well as Jet fans predicted. There were problems with this team that now maybe you can fix. So when you run it back, you'll make changes. But I think you kind of know what could have gone wrong even if Rodgers was healthy. Would you agree with that?
No, Don, I do agree with that. But I just want to say one thing about that is that it's not as dire as the media makes it out to be. You can fix – there are little things that Jets have to fix. There are certain players that you have to take out and put back in. But it's not a wholesale, fire everyone, get a new game, let's start all over again. No. The Jets are close. And I will tell you something. I've seen it happen. I've been part of it when it's happened, and I've watched it happen in the NFL over the years. You've just got to make sure that when you get it to that point, that you are ready to go out there and force the issue out on that football field and not try to be a conservative type of football team. You've got to go out there, throw it, get it down the field, put the pressure on that other defense. The rules are so important for the offense and so punitive to the defense.
Still have 3 more games to go, and even though the games don't necessarily have ramifications for the playoffs, do you worry at all about maybe some of the young players who aren't used to losing, coming from big-time college programs where maybe they lost 1 or 2 games total during their time there, to where things haven't gone well for this team, to making sure that the frustration just doesn't boil over to the point where you don't know if they're going to be part of this thing maybe even down the road when things hopefully will turn around? Is that a concern?
I would say in this day and age it might be, but I'm not from this day and age. I'm from the past, and the past dictated to me, be a professional. You get paid to do your job. Go out and do your job. There's no place for complaining over here. There's no place for you to be a diva. This is about team game of football. And if you can't play within that team game, well, then it's time for you to move on. That's the way I look at it, because that becomes a dreadful, dire situation for any team. When you have players that go, I don't want to be here. All right, get out. I mean, if that's the case. But if you look at that football team, you go out there and you play hard, play fast, play smart, that's all you can do. The winning will take place or the losing will take place. But it's, either way, it's not your fault that it happens. It's other people. And then you have to replace those people. That's all there is to it. Whether you're on the Jets or you're the Giants or you're the Rams or you're any football team out there, that happens. And so you have to make sure that you're a professional at it and go about and do your business and do your job.
He's Greg Buttle. He'll be with Dan Grossa coming up at 11 o'clock on Sunday. Jets and Commanders right here on 98.7 ESPN New York. Rodgers is active, although said he's not going to play in the final 3 games. Robert Saleh gave the reason, have him around, practice. And, as a former player, Greg, what is that going to do for his teammates that he's going to be around even though he's not going to play?
Well, let's compare him to Joe Namath, okay? Let's just do that for a second. And that is that when Namath was around the team, everybody was more engaged. When Namath wasn't around the team, it was sporadic and it was a little different. I think that when you have a guy of that ilk, whether he's and I don't want to say just an all-pro player, but when you have a guy that is really, he's going to the Hall of Fame, whether it was Namath or it's Rodgers, they carry a little weight and a little swagger with the football team because everyone aspires to do those things. What he's done in his career, obviously, has been right. Whether you have all his detractors out there and say he's from California, he's a whackball, he wants to go do this, he's crazy, all of those things, whatever he's done for him to be a better football player has been very good and on point. You may not like it. The media may not like some of it, but whatever he's done a hell of a job.
Do you think the Christmas Eve game, or how is the Christmas Eve game on Sunday? Because we haven't talked about this. How is it going to interfere with the holiday celebration plans for you?
It doesn't interfere with anything. The Jets games are number one, and that's what we do, right. And we go out there.
Well, no, because I know he's got to, because you got to trek back to Long Island. That's the point I'm getting at.
Well, I'm going to take the 8 reindeer and the sleigh and get back to Long Island. That's what's going to happen. As long as it doesn't snow, I'll be happy.
All right, give our listeners a Christmas present, Greg. You said you hung around your rookie year. You're with Joe Namath. Mm-hmm. Give us as on brand as possible a off the field Namath story involving you.
Well, I give one that I think is one of my favorites. Okay, and that is, and I may have told you this, Don. I don't know. I think Dan knows. My rookie year, we have triple days. Practices 3 times a day. Lou Holtz was the coach, and it was never ending. We had 7 preseason games or 6 preseason games, and it was hot, boy. And one afternoon, Lou Holtz gives us off, and Namath says to me, he goes, "Hey, get Richard and one of you and me and Ed Marinaro. We'll go to Jones Beach." I have no idea what Jones Beach is. I've just got there. It's got to be late July. And go to Jones Beach. What is that? He says, so we get into Namath's red Eldorado convertible. And we go out there, and he buys a case of beer, puts it in ice, and it's in the back seat. And Richard Todd and I are in the back seat drinking beer in his Eldorado. He wasn't drinking. He was driving. Ed Marinaro was drinking and singing. All of us are in our jeans, cut-off jeans. That's it. And we're driving down the Meadowbrook Parkway, and we get to Merrick Avenue on the Meadowbrook Parkway, which is the last exit before the toll booths at Jones Beach, which happened to be about 2 to 3 miles away. Traffic is stopped. It's just a backup. So we're sitting there, and we're sitting in the car drinking, and there's one guy next to us. This is a 3-lane highway on both sides. Stop traffic. One guy says, hey, that's Joe Namath. Whoa, that's Joe Namath. They go, hey, Joe Namath, how you doing? He waves and all this stuff. They get out of their car. They come over. Joe, can I have your autograph? Yeah, sure. So next thing, these other guys get out of the car. The cars on the right of us get out of the car. There's 100 people on the Meadowbrook Parkway. Traffic is stopped because of the backup. And they're all getting Joe Namath's autographs. And Richard Todd and I are sitting in the back seat drinking beer, taking this in going, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this is football. I can't believe how they are enamored with what football is. All of a sudden, I look up, I go, Joe, I tap him on the shoulder. I go, Joe, there are no cars in front of us. All the cars had gone. It was wide open. All the way to the toll booth, we got 150 people on the Meadowbrook Parkway getting autographs. You know, not one person was honking their horn. Everyone knew it was Namath in the Parkway. He goes, oh, my God, I hate to tell you this, but we got to go. And so we sped off. And that's the biggest traffic jam that was caused by autograph signing in my life that I've ever seen.
I was going to say there were no cars in front of you, but I'm sure there were plenty behind you.
That didn't happen nowadays.
No one honked the horn. It was unbelievable.
That is great, man. You are amazing. I want you to have a great Christmas, a great New Year. I miss you terribly. And I'm going to put you on the spot.
I miss you, too.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you like better, me or Dan?
I love Don LaGreca. I'm infatuated with Dan Johnson.
That's the answer. See, that's a good answer. That's a guy who knows how to play both sides of the aisle right there.
That's not nothing.
That's why I love the guy.
And I just want Anthony to play on the out. I want Anthony to play my favorite song, my favorite Christmas song, sung by the U.S. Navy band Barbershop Quartet, the greatest Christmas song of all time, and they sang it. They copied it from the Drifters, but they sang it, White Christmas.
That is awesome. And you, of course, were in a barbershop quartet in Penn State.
That is correct.
And there's a picture of you in a bow tie someplace.
Christmas without you. That's not one of his top 5, though, Greg.
Oh, and I remember driving home from Baltimore listening to Johnny Cash with Greg. Remember that?
How about you and I? You knew every word as I knew every word.
He's a big country guy. See, I wouldn't think that, but when he said that he's a classic country, right?
Yeah.
That's your forte?
Oh, yeah, the Willie Nelson classic country. That's what we
just turned 90, right, Willie? And they had a special for him on TV, yeah.
That's right. He paid back the IRS everything he owed.
Oh, there you go.
An album. It's unbelievable.
Love you, man. Have a great holiday, buddy.
See you Sunday.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. That is the great Greg Buttle. He'll be on with Dan coming up at 11 o'clock on Sunday. For
Not
the
a
Jets
second earlier.
And the Commanders coverage. Last home game of the season.
Big crowd on hand, too, supposedly.
You're being sarcastic, right?
Yeah. I know a few people going.
Yeah.
Trevor Simeon will be there.
That is true. So we got lots to do. Big 5 o'clock hour. We got Joe Fortenbaugh coming up at 5:30. It's Don and Dan on the K Show. And yes, at 98.7 ESPN New York.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Trick plays, and if local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the franchise. Continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each one of you a beer or something.
Let's play the game.
Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?  1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Brun, try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Play your favorite slots today and you can win the next big jackpot. Sign up now and we'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 in casino bonus funds only at GoldenNuggetCasino.com.
This year, let Ford make the holidays bright. Go over any type of terrain with Ford Bronco Sport.
Hey, Dad.
How's the weather?
All good.
And the Ford Explorer with available seating for 7. And with power on demand in the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, well, that's how Ford is making the holidays bright. Right now, returning lessees can get a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your local Ford stores.
This year, all of New York sports teams are coming together for one cause, collecting winter coats for New Yorkers in need. So show your love, donate a coat, and make this year's New York Cares coat drive the greatest our city has ever seen. Go to WeLoveNYC.NYC. Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
You look like a responsible family guy. Looking for something with a little more space?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Hurry in to lease a new 2023 all-electric ID4 for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month payment, and 0 due at signing. Limited inventory available.
What's up, everybody? Chef Marcus Sampson here on Home Plate New York on the Yes app. Come on, man, bring it in. Don't be shy.
From pinstripes to chef whites, Yankee stars take to the kitchen and explore some of their favorite New York cuisine.
This is a staple. This is where we grew up. This is actually a gourmet version.
Yeah. Plus celebrities, athletes, and icons join Marcus at some of the hottest tables in town.
That's amazing. I'm proud.
Manja. Check out Home Plate New York, streaming now on the Yes app.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions, inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
Dave Maloney. That game is an ESPN Plus vehicle, by the way. No MSG tonight.
You want to watch local hockey in this town, at least for the last few days. It's all ESPN
Well, because the
Plus.
Oilers came to town, and apparently they've got some sort of a deal with us that their games have to be on ESPN Plus. Because all three, the Islander game, the Devil game last night, now the Ranger game tonight. So if you don't have access to the app or you're going to be driving around, doing some last-minute Christmas shopping, tune in to 98.7. I'll be on the call with Dave Maloney. I've missed him terribly as well. Got a chance to work with some great people. Dave Maloney, Greg Buttle. It's amazing. Greg's a gem. He is a gem.
Think about it. Even like the Greg story, the Richard call, like this is all happening like on the last show of the year. It's phenomenal. Like this is like a holiday present 3 days before the actual day. Think about it. Think about these gifts that you're getting free of charge.
That's right.
Just by listening, just by being a part of the family.
Now, what, pray tell, will be on this air from 3 to 6:30 next week, Anthony?
So glad you asked, Tom. Well,
what did you say? Pray tell?
Yeah. Pray tell. The show is off on Christmas Day. Show is off on New Year's
off on the
Day.
Christmas. We refer to it as the Christmas.
The
Christmas.
But 3 to 6:30, Tuesday through Friday. Ty Butler and Pat O'Keefe.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Not nothing.
I'm excited.
That's a something. They'll do a good job. Unfortunately, both football teams are not going to be worth
Ray Rowe only, by the way.
Only Ray Rowe.
Greek says he's had enough of me, so that'll be a week off for Yes.
You got to work next week?
I'll be here, sure.
Do you ask for any time off?
I will eventually.
But not this week?
Not this week.
Now, we were just talking earlier. Of course, the big news is Yamamoto goes to the Dodgers. So the Dodgers, and a super team, has crept back up again with Ohtani and Yamamoto, although Ohtani hasn't won anything and Yamamoto hasn't done anything yet, but still a lot of money getting thrown out to the Dodgers, who are a pretty good team to begin with anyway. But how does that harm baseball? What does that do that the big market teams are getting involved here? And I think it does have a bit of a trickle-down effect. But this was sent to me last night by Anthony, and I tweeted it out, and I got a great reaction from people because I really found it interesting. And I just sent it out and just said interesting. I didn't comment on it because I knew we'd get a chance today to do it. And I wonder how you feel about this, Dan.
What's that?
Yahoo Sports NFL had tweeted out, NFL is by far the most watched sports league in the United States. All right, no surprise there. So it gives most watched sports leagues average U.S. viewership per game. So the NFL's easily the best. 9.2 million people per game on average watch an NFL game. Then it's like everybody else. Now you've seen this, right?
No.
Or you haven't seen
no,
it?
I'm
what is number two? And I'll just give you a hint. None of the other leagues have reached 1 billion. I mean, 1 million. So we're still talking hundreds of thousands. That's the distinct drop-off between the two. So who is number two?
Out of the major sports, you're saying?
That's right. I'll give you. It's football, NBA, NHL, MLS, Major League Baseball. So they're all like in there.
Number two would probably be, I'll say NBA.
Yeah, NBA is number two. It's 711,000 per game.
Okay.
Then there's another big drop-off.
Baseball?
No.
Really? Hockey?
Hockey is number three at 398 million.
And then you got the baseball and the soccer.
Baseball is at 378 million. So right there, just a 20,000 difference. And then MLS is at 133,000. They're exclusively on Apple, by the way, so that might affect their numbers.
And if you had college football in there, I guarantee you that's even higher.
So,
on the
but
list.
they're not a league per se.
Right.
You know, so all these people are like, MLS is passing the NHL. Pump the brakes on that.
Yeah.
But how surprised are you that hockey is beating baseball? Now, there's a few theories out there, but
a little bit surprised,
now,
actually.
Obviously, you're talking about 162 games, so that's going to bring the level down to 82 games in the NHL. But come on, when in this world did you ever think that the NHL would beat Major League Baseball at anything?
Can you imagine if you were alive in the 70s? And somebody told you that statement that X amount of years down the road, that's what we would be dealing with?
There was a period of time, and I remember this is probably, I got to ask Costas about it the next time that we have him on. Bob Costas was debating, I think, Don Trumpy.
Mm-hmm. Bob Trumpy?
Bob Trumpy, excuse me. 87, 88? So, 35 years ago. What was America's most popular sport? Football or baseball?
Football, right.
I mean, there was a debate. Now it's not even a debate. It's football. Let's move on. Right? It is just amazing, the popularity of football. But if I were to tell you back in 1988, hockey, forget it, didn't even have a national television contract. I think going to ESPN has helped the NHL tremendously. Because let's face it, I think NBC did a terrific job with hockey. But NBC Sportsnet was not on the minds of most sports fans. ESPN is.
It was OLN before, remember?
Yeah, but now it's almost like it's back, and the games are entertaining. Michael Kay made an appearance on the Game Misconduct podcast today, so download it where you get your podcast.
Oh, was that the big surprise?
Well, because he was recording something, and so we threw him on, and I asked him about it, and his first theory was, well, it's 162 games compared to 82 games. There's more meaning for each hockey game, but doesn't that get balanced out by more teams making the playoffs in the NHL than in Major League Baseball, which would take the meaning away? I just think that, am I going to sit here and tell you that hockey is more popular than baseball? Of course not. But what I'm trying to tell you is that hockey is in the conversation and that baseball better watch itself, because if they continue to trend away from everybody having a chance to win, and don't give me all the Diamondbacks went to the World Series. I get it. You do see that. But the Diamondbacks are also going to be a 100-loss team again in a couple of years when they can't hold on to any of their players, and they were a 100-loss team 5 minutes ago. But it's still, if it's always the Dodgers and it's always the Yankees and it's always, the Red Sox or the Phillies, it's always the same 5 or 6 teams, and then you got 25 other teams thinking they've got no chance, well, that's going to drive the ratings down. It's going to take a lot away from the general interest in the sport. And also, I think baseball's done a bad job of really marketing their stars. The NHL's done a better job. I mean, you just mentioned that the Oilers have been, the three local teams have been on ESPN Plus 3 straight days now. It was, I guess, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That's because they're playing the Oilers and they have Connor McDavid. Like, Connor McDavid's a marketable star. Leon Draisaitl, Austin Matthews. You know, in baseball, you know, they, of course, you know, here in New York, it's not an issue because the Mets and Yankees are so amazingly popular. But around the country, man, like, people just aren't paying as much attention. And if you continue to only see a handful of teams be able to get the best players, then that takes away from the hot stove stuff. And then once you get to the season, oh, I'm good for a year, and then it comes at the expense of me being bad for a decade.
Well, I mean, think about it, right? Like, the two of the biggest names that we've talked about here in the offseason, like, you want to talk about generating buzz for the sport, for baseball, Ohtani. Ohtani's essentially been playing in baseball Siberia for the last, 6 years, or however long he's been in Major League Baseball, on a team that never went to the playoffs one time, with him and supposedly the second other top player in the game on the same roster. So that hurts, doesn't it?
Sure.
Okay? Now this Yamamoto, all the attention, people know the name. They know the myth. They know the hype and the promise and all these things. Nobody's seen him play. So, like, that's the product you're selling. You're basically selling just this idea, not something actually tangible. Like, I mean, are people really going to stop what they're doing when you find out that, okay, Yamamoto's a Dodger? If you're on the East Coast, like here in New York, and you find out that, all right, the Dodgers' first game, let's see, Yamamoto's first start is going to be a 10:05 first pitch on the East Coast on a Wednesday night in April. Number one, how you get in the game if it's not on national TV, which will probably make his first start. But, like, let's say just his third start on any random midweek night. Are people making sure that they stay up past midnight to watch Yamamoto pitch? No.
Yeah, so, I mean, just it's interesting. So they need to, you know, the speeding up the game has certainly helped and all that. But I just found that
and you're talking,
fascinating.
And we're two guys who love baseball, and we grew up with it. And we still maybe adhere to that ranking to where baseball is up higher than maybe it is on your list, to where it should be revered a little bit more. But that's the facts, man.
No, it's really...
It's not the same.
Now, listen up, Jet fans. Here is your chance to score a pair of tickets for the December 24th matchup against the Commanders. Be caller 12 for the number of years the Yamamoto got with the Dodgers right now at 888-987-ESPN to win. Brought to you by the New York Jets. Limited seats are available. Grab your tickets at nyjets.com/tickets to get ready to bring the noise. Let's get back to the busy phones, shall we?
Sure.
Kind of a weird football Friday, you know, because of where we are with the Giants and Jets. Last week was just a kick to the stomach, right? We were all hyped up. Maybe one of these teams could actually stay alive, even though the Giants are still mathematically alive. Their hope is pretty much crumbled at this point. They'd have to run the table, which is probably the hardest of all the things that have to happen for them. So you went from the hype of maybe something can happen, and in the way they both lost to the Saints and Cowboys respectively, kind of took a lot of the fun out of Week 16. And when you look at the games, there's two really good games. You've got the Dolphins and the Cowboys, and you've got the Niners and the Ravens. And I like that being the 8:30 game on Christmas. You should be already home by then. Sit back. One last thing before you go to bed. I know you're kind of bothered by the 8:30 start, but I think it's going to get a monster number. I think it's such a great game. It's possible Super Bowl preview. I like it at 8:30 better than the Giant game at 4:30 or the Kansas City game at 1, because I think, you know, you're right. No. You're going to be eating. You're traveling at that point. I think by 8:30, most of the country's home and be able to sit there and just unwind and watch some football.
Well, I think you have to, right? I mean, that probably gives you the best opportunity for eyeballs, to your point. I think if it's the early game, some people are in transit. Even the afternoon game, you never know if you're moving to and fro or you're eating. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to do a crazy big number. It's going up against the NBA, which I don't think is going to stand any chance whatsoever.
It really is. I mean, they own Christmas, but it's really tough to go up against football. It just is.
If you're dying for sports on Christmas Day, okay, if you're one of those people that are like, you need to have a sporting event on like 24 hours a day, you're going to put the Knick game on at noon, and then you're going to stick with that for about an hour, maybe the entire first half, and then you're going to realize, oh, it's 1 o'clock, Raiders-Chiefs is starting, and you're going to flip over to the football. And then it's a football day the rest of the afternoon and night.
Well, it's not Raiders-Chiefs, is it?
Raiders-Chiefs,
okay.
1 o'clock.
Well, where's the rate? Because that was I had New England in my head, but that's
New England-Denver is Christmas Eve night.
Christmas Eve night, right? That's So yeah, I mean, Raiders. It's not as meaningful a game, but yet it's a basketball game in December. So when you talk, football's always. Because of football is always going to be king, just because, you know, we can talk about the gambling and fantasy football. It's once a week. So the games are always going to have some kind of feel to them. Somebody's going to be alive. Like those 3 Saturday games, they were great last week because everybody was over 500. Everybody had a chance to make the playoffs. The games, only one game was great, but still.
Well, how do you feel about the ones tomorrow, the 2 games tomorrow? Bengals, Steelers, 4:30. That's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. But you got third-string quarterback in Pittsburgh, Browning going for the Bengals.
It's still meaningful, though.
The night game is one of those. Now I'm going to be doing the Ranger game just like you. So that's where my focus is going to be. But Bills-Chargers, that's a Peacock exclusive.
Peacock exclusive, commercial-free in the fourth quarter.
Which I could give a rat's you-know-what.
Well, because it doesn't matter because they're not going to be playing football. It's just giving us extra analysis.
Right.
You know, so I'd be excited if there were no stoppages. Are there going to be no stoppages?
No, there's going to be stoppages.
No, meaning like they're going to kick off and then are they going to get right to the first down? Are they still going to have 2 minutes of analysis and things? So you're really not.
No, because they're going to do some things in the stadium. You know what I mean? They're going to have like the cheerleaders come out and do a routine like "Happy Christmas," "Ya ya ya," or something like that. They're going to shoot T-shirts into the stands.
Get smack announcers in the face.
Oh, that does happen on occasion.
Well, you heard it happen to me.
I know exactly what happened. But think back to a year ago, like when you said like the football in this city, there's not a hell of a lot going on. A year ago at this time, Giants were gearing up for a playoff run. Right? I mean, they were still trying to finalize everything, but they were en route to the playoffs. And on this day last year, believe it or not, was that Thursday night disaster at MetLife Stadium with the Jets and the Jaguars, where Chris Strevler got into the game. It's just some of the worst weather that you could possibly imagine. And it was like minus 12 degrees, it felt like, for the next 2 days right after that. But that's where we were a year ago at this time. And the Jets, believe it or not, still ended up having a shot at the playoffs, even after that debacle, because they got every gift imaginable. Aaron Rodgers went down to Miami and beat the Dolphins on Christmas Day last year to help the Jets, and there were a couple others.
That's what's crazy is because that's why, listen, football does the amazing numbers for a lot of reasons, but you're talking about once a week, and you're still talking about week 16, and the Giants are 5-9 and still mathematically alive for the playoff. Like, so when they added those extra wild card teams, you have a lot more meaningful football.
By the way, with the Rams game last night.
Got my 3 points, by the way. Love it.
Yeah, he
in
loves
the
that.
pocket.
But remember a couple of days ago we were talking about the Giants elimination scenarios, and there was like 80 of them, but all of them had to have a Giant loss. With the Rams winning last night, now it's plain and simple. Giants lose, they're done.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Cut and dry, black and white. Lose, done. Goodbye.
Let's go to Carmine in Englewood. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Carmine?
Hey, Don. Hey, Dan. How you guys doing?
Good, man. What's happening?
Awesome show this week, and as always, great Anthony Pusick, ENN.
Quality.
Quick Yamamoto question, and then a quick one about Soto, too, maybe. Yamamoto, I know this might sound stupid considering the amount of money he just got, but a 12-year deal for somebody his age, potential ace of your rotation for a long time, did he sell himself short going for a long-term deal like that instead of something short where you can come into free agency again?
He has an opt-out.
After 6 years.
6 years, yeah. Well,
he wouldn't have been better looking for.
But he's still only going to be like 30.
But Carmine, the way these guys get hurt, he has not had Tommy John surgery yet. I mean, you could really screw this up. Where, if let's say you sign a 4-year deal for monster money, and in that 4th year you get Tommy John surgery. Well, now you're going to sit on the shelf for the whole 5th year because you're not going to play. That could affect how much money you're going to get. One bad season, injuries, they get hurt way too much. Bird in the hand, man. You haven't had Tommy John surgery. Some of these guys sometimes get it twice. There's rotator cuffs. There's all different things that can kind of happen to you. You got to be able to get that guaranteed money for the long term. I don't think he sold himself short. I think that's the way to do it. Oh, you?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, the money's the money. You take that more than anything else. And look, if you're a Dodger fan or any fan of a team, if a player has an opt-out, you hope that he exercises that opt-out because that means that there's grounds to do it. And he's pitching or playing well enough.
Right, so you made a great point. There's $325 million. You're going to get it over 12 years. You're not going to get $325 million for 4 years, obviously. So you want to get as much money as you can. If you don't go beyond like 4 years thinking, I'll make more money, you're still running the risk of being ineffective, get hurt. Got to take that money. And he got it. And it's big-time money. Is it deserved? Well, we're sure as heck going to find out. Andrew in Medford, you're on ESPN New York.
Hello?
What's up, baby?
Andrew.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to talk about baseball, but before I do it, you guys were talking about on Christmas Day football games.
Mm-hmm.
The game is the Ravens at 49, and it's a Monday night game.
That's it.
That's it. I think that's going to be the Super Bowl, actually.
That could be a Super Bowl preview, sure. I mean, a lot of things have to happen, but they to me feel like the best teams in their respective conferences.
And did you guys know the Ravens? I think they're like 18-2 or something, or 18-1 against the NFC.
Over the last ever how many years?
Yeah, I think since Jackson's been there. I'm not positive on that.
That's interesting because I can think of one loss at the top of my head. They lost to the Giants last year, which was crazy. Point. They turned the ball over like 4 times. But what was your Yankee point?
My Yankee point is being a Yamamoto, is not coming to the Yankees, of course, now. And they're not going to be spending that money. I was looking at $300 million plus there. You think the Yankees will go after maybe 2 starters? Maybe like a Corbin Burns and a Jordan Montgomery bring back because they might be able to afford it,
They're not going for Jordan Montgomery's not coming back. Don't rule out Josh Hader, them possibly pursuing Josh Hader to beef up that bullpen even more.
Well, what's their rotation right now, minus Yamamoto? You got Cole. You've got Rodon.
Question mark.
Obviously. Cortez.
Question mark.
Question mark.
Clark Schmidt.
And then Montas.
Well, Montas a free agent.
So what are they going to do?
You only have 4 starters right now.
So because obviously they lost King in the trade with San Diego. They're probably going to go after 2 anyway.
Yeah.
You can't go into a season with only 5 starters. Somebody's going to get hurt. That happens every single time. So you're going to have guys that can give you length there.
You know who might be available too? He's not a name that I mentioned earlier in the show. Like the likely trade targets, Dylan Cease, Corbin Burns, who did I say? Shane Bieber with Cleveland. Another name that could potentially be had, and it's not one that's going to wow people, but he's a solid pitcher and he's young. Logan Gilbert, who's with the Mariners. He's only 26 years old, good arm. He's somebody that is still controllable, and that's the idea, having guys that are going to be around for a little bit.
Joe Fortenbaugh is going to join us next. He's going to have his picks in both college and the pros. We have our picks coming up at 5:45. Anthony Boone's pick is in. Incarcerated Bob's pick is in. We've got Peters. We've got Michaels. Do we have Bears? And we might, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on him, might have a pick from 45.
Holy crap.
Might have
no
a pick
bear.
from 45.
I haven't spoken to God. You don't speak to Jesus. I haven't spoken to God. But everybody else is in.
We might have 45.
That's not true.
But Joe is coming up next here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN New York.
I'm Jessie Dover, co-founder of Dagny Dover. New York isn't for the faint of heart. The gear you carry around not only has to look good, but it has to work even better. That's why we create bags like the Landon Carryall, a bag that allows organizational junkies like me to be ready for whatever life brings. A bag that allows me to feel good about the things I carry. After all, this city is a reflection of who I am, purposeful, resilient, and ready to face whatever comes my way.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
The league is in absolute chaos. Players going off pretty much every other playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers. It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
You've heard our story. The one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A a different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Brun, try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping, always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. ButcherBox.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Mara, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money.
Mara, your parents are
exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
At Domino's, we know life doesn't always go as planned, which is why we're giving you a free pizza.
Joy.
Thanks. An emergency pizza to use when you need it most. Here you go.
Thank you.
No matter the reason, Domino's has you covered. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Get your emergency pizza to use in the future when you order Domino's online.
When choosing between style, comfort, and performance, we chose all of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
I could stand here and tell you if my prostate cancer wasn't caught early, I might not be alive today.
I could tell you that the cutting-edge research funded by the Prostate Cancer Foundation has helped patients live longer with less complications.
I could tell you all of this, but really, it's up to you.
It's your health.
It's your life.
Go to PCF.org for the help you need to navigate this disease. Go to PCF.org today.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about the happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Joe Fortenbaugh joins us every Friday here on the Michael K. Show. It's Don and Dan. How are you, sir?
Gentlemen, doing great. Love the fact that you're bumping back with Shane O'Mac there. Nicely done.
You like that? Because you're going to show us the money this weekend. 26, 16, and 2 on the college side, although not the greatest of weeks last week, right?
No, we're shaky with bowl season to start. I think we were only able to grab one there, but hopefully we'll find a way to,
kind of get it back on track and grind these things out. One of the ones I didn't give you guys last week was Old Dominion on Monday, which I ended up playing. They were up 28-0 and completely blew that game. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to bowl season.
Well, that was our afternoon.
Hilltoppers, baby.
We actually look forward to like a little afternoon bowl during the show, and then Dan was all over that for other reasons we won't talk about, and certainly it worked out for him. But, yeah, you even said last week that the bowls are tough because you don't know who's going to play, what kids are not are going to decide to take a knee on it, and there's motivation for some, lack for others, and it makes it difficult.
Well, the thing that's been wild is, like, we want to look at motivation, and we also want to look at, the transfer portal. And with a lot of these games, we're finding ourselves on the side where our team has an advantage when it comes to the transfer portal. Like, we haven't lost nearly as many players. That Ohio game last week was absurd, right? Like, we're laying the points with Georgia Southern. Ohio's missing their quarterback, their top running back, their top wide receiver, their top linebacker. They were just decimated, and they went out and they absolutely smoked Georgia Southern, who wasn't missing anybody. So, you just got to get back to the drawing board, and you figure over a large enough sample, which we have, 40-some bowl games, you figure over a large enough sample, hopefully it'll work out in your favor.
All right, go ahead.
What do you got for the college this week?
Let's start tonight, right? Georgia Tech, UCF. Let's go over 66.5 points in that game. So this should be an exciting one, right? You've got two offenses here that can score. Both scored about 30-plus per game this season. Both defenses are highly suspect. Brent Key, the new head coach at Georgia Tech, has done an excellent job with his team. 430 total yards per game this season. They were third in the ACC. They haven't been top 10 in the ACC in like 5 years, but they can't stop the run and they don't play good defense. Enter UCF, who runs the ball very well and can score a lot of points. So I'm going to play over 66.5. I think we get a shootout here. Two other games that are tomorrow, Northwestern plus 6.5 over Utah. This is a motivation game. I think Northwestern really wants to be here. They were supposed to have a terrible season with everything that happened with Pat Fitzgerald, and then they ended up having a fantastic season, right? Rookie head coach comes in, leads them to a bowl berth here, and they're playing a Utah team that, on paper, Utah is better. But Utah starts the season thinking about the college football playoffs and a Pac-12 championship. They got none of that. I don't think they want to play in the game. I'll take Northwestern plus 6.5. And then your third college play will be tomorrow as well. Coastal Carolina plus 9 over San Jose State. Again, a motivation angle. San Jose State thought they got jobbed by not getting into the Mountain West championship game. So I wonder how much motivation they have here. This is also their second trip to Hawaii in a few weeks. They were just at Hawaii for a football game. So they might just go down there and look at this as a total vacation. Coastal Carolina's on like their third string running quarterback. That's why they're getting so many points. But the kid can run. And the thing is, if you can run the ball against San Jose State, who struggles to defend the run, you can grind the clock, you can control the tempo, and we're getting 9 points. So there's a reason that number's coming down. We'll go ahead and play Coastal Carolina there.
And the NFL? I'm sorry, Dan.
No, just say the same thing. NFL picks you're looking this week, Joe?
A lot of totals this week. I'll give you 3 totals, and then I'll give you one side. Dallas and Miami over 49.5. We've seen Dallas's defense on the road. We've seen what happens when a good team can run against them. Miami should have no problems running against them in this one. I don't trust that Miami defense. I think they're fugazi, right? You look at a lot of these metrics, they're like top 5. 9 of their 14 opponents are bottom 10 in scoring. 9 of them, right? The 5 games they played against teams that aren't bottom 10 in scoring, they're giving up 30 points per game in those matchups. Dallas is a very good offense. I think they hang a number. Let's go over 49.5. Patriots, Broncos, under 34.5. This one's relatively self-explanatory. Patriots are the worst offense in the NFL. Denver's running out of luck. We talked about it last week when we took Detroit. Denver was one of the luckiest teams in the NFL in terms of turnovers and average starting field position. That ran out in Detroit, and they got slaughtered. I'm not playing the side there, but I don't think either offense does a whole lot. I'm going under 34.5. And then what do we got? 2 more here. San Francisco, Baltimore on Christmas. I'd play the over there at 47.5. Baltimore's defense looks great, but look at that game against Jacksonville last week, right? They only give up a few points, 7, I think it was. Jacksonville got past the Baltimore 40 6 times in that game. They came away with 0 points, but they got there 6 times. They're a one-dimensional offense. Everyone knows they're throwing the ball. They can't run for squat. So the Niners are multi-dimensional. Niners are going to be able to move the ball and score, and if Baltimore's playing from behind, they're going to have to press the action a little bit, and I think they're going to have to open it up. Remember, Niners gave up 220 rushing yards to Arizona last week, so I like that going over. So the three totals are Dallas and Miami over 49.5, New England, Denver under 34.5, San Francisco, Baltimore over 47.5, and then I play the Cardinals +4 against the Bears. The Bears haven't been this big of a favorite in 33 games. You have to go back like 3 years to find the last time they were a favorite this big. Favorite in 2 games this year, they didn't cover either of them. Since Kyler Murray returned, Arizona's offensive metrics are actually stronger than Chicago's. So the 4 points, I'll take it. If this were a field goal, I'd pass. But at +4, I'll take Arizona.
How about that Jet game against Washington this week? Trevor Siemian getting the start, the 4th one of the season for them at the quarterback position. An offense that really wasn't dynamic prior to. What can we expect in this one or lack thereof?
So here's the thing. If the Commanders were going to do anything, last week was the spot to do it. You're coming off the bye week. You're taking on a Rams team that just played a very physical game, went to overtime against Baltimore. You should have been able to do something there. And they didn't do anything. I mean, they stunk. You look at the final score and you say, Fortenbaugh, you're crazy. It was a close game. It was within one score. That was like 28-7 that game. Brissett checks in at quarterback. A couple glamour touchdowns later. They find themselves in range. But Riverboat Ron, bonehead decision, down 14, they score, go for 2. And he's not going for 2. He's kicking the extra point, and then the extra point gets blocked. Like, that's Washington's season in a nutshell. Shout out Peter Rosenberg. There's no way I'm getting behind Washington. The question is whether or not you lay the field goal with the Jets. You might just be safer playing the under 37.5.
Do you give the Giants any shot of staying in that game in Philly?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not saying I'm betting it, but it opened 10.5. It moved to 13.5, so it's early Philly money. What's happening here is we saw the bottom fall out on Tommy Cutlets last week, right? Like, it's a great story. I don't mean to be negative, but he's not really a starting quarterback in the NFL. And he had a nice run going there, but every gambler knew at some point that bottom was falling out. I didn't know it last week. I was wrong. But they went to New Orleans. The Giants can't protect him at all. I mean, good God, the kid's getting sacked 5+ times a game. They're on pace to set the record for sacks given up in a season. It's absurd. So you got a young quarterback back there. You can't protect him at all. What do you think's going to happen? So it moves to 13.5. But how do I lay 13.5 with a team like Philly right now? It's one thing to be losing the games. It's another thing when the coach is coming unhinged, getting upset and testy with the media when they're asking him questions. Like, that's for Carolina. Let that coach get testy. Let the Chargers get testy. You're 10-4. You're fighting for a 1 seed. Why are you getting so banged up at these questions? Like, they're not handling adversity well, and Hurts out there talking about commitment and all that stuff. That's worrisome. So I'm not laying 13.5 in a divisional game with that team.
One last one before we let you go. Clearly, I think the Cowboys are in a better place than Philadelphia right now. But based on the Eagles' schedule, are they still clearly the favorites to win the division?
Favorites to win the division would be Philadelphia simply because of the schedule, right? Because you've got a couple games coming up against the Giants, and you got Arizona on there. But I don't see them as a better team. Like, if we're talking about true odds versus the perception, like, I know Dallas has its problems, but Dallas is out there competing. Dallas just, defensively, they have some struggles. Outside of the dome, they have some struggles. Okay, they're not perfect. That's fine. They can still score a lot of points, and they seem like they're all bought in. Something's wrong in Philly. Something stinks. You got all types of stuff going on there, and you can't trust that situation. Kills me to say it as an Eagle fan, but, I mean, I would trust the Cowboys more than I trust the Eagles at this point.
Yeah, it is crazy. It should be a lot of fun. Listen, enjoy the holiday, man. We're going to be away next week, so I'll talk to you again in 24. Good luck with your bets, man.
Appreciate it, fellas. Happy holidays to everyone out there. It's a pleasure to get to speak with your audience every week, so I hope they're taking something away from this. I'm glad we're grinding out a profit, but I get a lot of good feedback from your listeners on social media.
Great.
You guys are the best. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays,
You're the best, too. Tell Carlin we said the same if you get a chance to see him. And if you don't get a chance to see him, I guess you chalk that up to a good day. No, we love Chris.
They don't get along?
That's the one thing I regret about the Peichel interview. We should have poked fun at Carlin. Because Carlin did the basketball for a few years, and he probably has some Carlin stories.
Probably.
But that was a good start. That was a good spot with Steve. Good spot with Joe as well. Our picks coming up next. We're going to include Dan as well. And I've got Bob's picks.
Tough week.
The manager of the New York Yankees, Aaron Boone, has chimed in. He's got the pick. What a game to pick, two Niners and Ravens. It's Don and Dan on the K Show on Yes on 98.7 ESPN New York.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping, always. Sign up today and get free chicken wings for a year. ButcherBox.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Run. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
There are things that I can get from The Athletic that I can't get from other places, especially in women's sports. It's the outlet that I consider to be the most equitable when it comes to covering women's and men's sports. The Athletic also provides in-depth coverage of my teams that aren't in my city. It makes me feel at home even when I'm not there.
Rogue has intelligent all-wheel drive.
So does my Altima.
Now get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months or save up to $2,500 on Rogue. Better hurry. These offers won't be back in stock.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use in the future. So you'll have an emergency pizza when you need it most. Here you go.
Thank you.
No matter the reason, when life gives you lemons, Domino's gives you free pizza.
Enjoy.
Thanks. Sorry, Dad. Get your emergency pizza when you order online.
Thank you.
Only from Domino's.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
This year, let Ford make the holidays bright. Go over any type of terrain with Ford Bronco Sport.
Hey, Dad.
How's the weather?
All good.
And the Ford Explorer with available seating for 7. And with power on demand in the all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning, well, that's how Ford is making the holidays bright. Right now, returning lessees can get a Ford F-150 for just $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your local Ford stores.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
These Pick-Up Football are the Michael K. Show. Pick-Em Pro Picks. Three.
Oh, it's time for the picks. And here we go. I got a big three-pointer under my belt as the Rams covered the 4 at home against the New Orleans Saints. So that gives me a record of 22-20-4, 48.5 points. I was 1-1-1 last week, but I did get half of my three-pointer, unfortunately. Michael was 2-1. And he's 23-21-2. He's got 45 points, but obviously he's got the game in hand on me. Peter, not running away, but close. He's got 52.5 points, 24-19-2. He was 1-2 last week. Joe Fortenbaugh is 30-21-2. He was 2-1 last week. Aaron Boone on his Monday night picks is 5-8-2. So that's where we stand. We've got Incarcerated Bob's picks. We've got Boone's pick. And are we going to have a 45 pick? Dan?
45 pick, sure.
Good, but because Michael won the week, let's go with Michael's picks first. Anthony, what do you got?
Well, as you know, Don, Michael doesn't have a game in hand on you.
Oh, that's right. He got the 1 point.
He got the 1 point from the Rams that you spit at.
That's good. That's a true 3.5-point lead on Michael. So that's
right.
good. All right.
So what Michael has here is he has the Dolphins minus 1.5 at home against the Cowboys. That's his 2-point play.
I don't like that pick.
And he's got Denver minus 7 over the Patriots. Remember how he tried to hold on thinking that Belichick was going to be able to figure it out? That's not happening anymore. That is the Broncos minus 7 as his 3-3-3-point play.
So Peter was 1-2, so I will go. I had the big win last night, so I've got my 3 points. My 1-point play, I know the Packers are struggling with their 2-game losing streak. Didn't look good against the Giants or the Buccaneers. They're in Carolina to take on the Panthers. I watched a lot of that game as the Panthers beat the Falcons, and they treated it like it was their Super Bowl because they looked like they weren't going to get another win. Packers are given 5. It's less than a touchdown. Packers still need the game. I'm going to go with the Packers covering the 5 as my 1-point play. And I'm back on the Lions bandwagon. I was impressed with the victory over Denver. Vikings can't score. And, the Lions still need the game. They could pass Philadelphia in seeding, still alive, possibly for a bye, although we don't think that's going to happen with the 49ers being so good. But with the 49ers taking on Baltimore, who knows? I like the Lions on the road to cover the 3 in Minnesota against the Vikings as my 2-point play. What is Peter doing?
Wow. 3-point play. Peter's going with a lot of animals this week. He agrees with you. Lions minus 3 as his 1-point play. He's got not Bear, but the Bears, Chicago minus 4 as his 2-point play to go against Joe Fortenbaugh, as he always tends to do. And he agrees with Michael, Miami minus 1.5 as his 3-3-3-point play.
I'm not digging on the Dolphins, man.
No.
And Peter regrets that he didn't pick the Rams.
Good. He should.
Well, when it got a little too close for comfort maybe at the end. I'd be more upset if I, regretted missing out on picking South Florida last night.
Yeah.
You talk about an all-time bowl mail-in. If you're Syracuse, my gosh. God. How do you lose a bowl game 49-0?
You don't.
It's not good.
What do you play, 11-7?
It's not even a question of motivation. It's just bad. Not good. Not good, Bob.
They might close down Boca Raton after that one.
Should.
Do you say Raton or Raton? Boca Raton? Boca Raton.
I say Boca Raton. I say tone.
Tone, yeah.
I say Del Boca Vista.
Popular retirement community.
So what do you got?
What do we got? We're going with 3?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go with 3. All right, here we go. 1-1-1 last week.
Right.
22-17-3.
That's not bad.
For the season. Not bad at all. Game 1. Road dog. Love the road dogs. Indy. In Atlanta, getting 2.5 points.
I like this pick.
Colts are a good road team, and they're 4-0 this year with Gardner Minshew against teams with losing records. How about that? Plus, you're going back to Taylor Heineke for the Falcons. He's not the answer. They're all banged up on D. Colts keep going. Arthur Smith's job's in trouble. Give me the Colts plus 2.5 over Atlanta. Game 2. You mentioned that Dallas-Miami game?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Pokes.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Pokes. I'm getting 1.5 points on the road. I don't love that Dolphin defense, despite what they did last week against the Jets. But you know what? You, me, a few friends. Exactly. They're all banged up, right? Dallas will bounce back. He had 90 yards of offense through 3 quarters in Buffalo. That is not the Cowboys. Dak's heard all the chatter. They've all heard it. They're going to bounce back in Miami. Give me the Cowboys plus 1.5. Last game, I think we're on the same page on this one. Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Cheese Curds getting 5 in Carolina. All right, Carolina won a game. Boo-hoo. They beat the Falcons. So much so the Falcons benched their quarterback.
Yeah.
It was 9-7. There were more points scored than there were people in the stands that day.
That's true.
Packers, I understand Jordan Love's performance has kind of gone down a little bit without Christian Watson, but still, Green Bay, Carolina can't score. Give me the Packers to bounce back. I'll lay the 5, I should say, on the road in Carolina.
All right, so we've got incarcerated Bob's picks. Get this ready, Anthony. He's with me. He likes the Lions -3. He's with Dan, and against Peter and Michael, he likes the boys plus 1.5, and he likes the Chiefs Raiders over 41. So Lions -3, Cowboys plus 1.5, Chiefs Raiders over 41. The manager of the New York Yankees,
El Trainador,
Aaron Moon, is going with your Baltimore Ravens as they're a 5.5-point dog in Frisco. But the stats that Greek sent me are similar to what the caller was talking about, is the dominance Lamar Jackson has had against the NFC. And I'm going to punch it up 9-3.
This ain't your father's NFC team, though. This Niners team's legit.
Overall, he is 9-3, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in 22 games against the NFC.
Well, like you said, he lost the Giants last year.
Yeah, so...
And this Niner team is better than the Giants team of last year.
No pick from Bear, which is weak.
Not trying to speak out of school, but Bear's having a lot of fun in Brazil. I don't think he's able to.
Maybe come back with, maybe they'll have 3 dogs.
Did he make the trip?
I don't know.
I actually don't know.
Did he get the passport in time and everything?
But while the parents are away, maybe he's having some fun here in New York by himself.
House party 4.
All right, so no God pick because we don't have the technology, but how about a pick from our 45th president?
45th pick?
Yes.
45th pick. Let's go. Christmas Eve night. The Broncos at home. Belichick, dear friend of mine. But without Brady, he's got nothing. Nothing. Zilch. 0. Zip. Give me the Broncos. Sean Payton, great friend of mine. Russell Wilson, love Sierra. Love that album.
That's not true.
I'll lay the 7 with the Broncos at home. Giddy up, Broncos.
All right, so we got a pick from 45. So there you go, week 16. And again, we're off next week. So we're going to get a lot of Ty Butler and Pat O'Keefe next week. So we will call in our picks. So I guess they'll do the pick segment next Friday. And we will have all of our picks the way that Peter and Michael's picks were done by Anthony Pusick, who apparently never takes any time off. When are you getting any time off, Anthony?
We'll figure something out. I enjoy this. This is fun.
No,
He
it's
likes
fun,
working.
but
He lives for his work.
I know, but you got to be able to enjoy the spoils of your work, no? He works harder than anybody.
You're asking me? And he's got an ENN coming up, by the way, which is the highlight of the entire
There's a couple
show.
of things working in his favor and everybody else's favor that has ears and listening to the show.
Yeah.
It's a televised vehicle, so everybody gets to enjoy it.
Correct.
It is on the Friday before Christmas, which is always huge.
The Christmas.
And we're all in studio.
That's right.
And that's where the magic happens on Yes and 98.7 ESPN New York.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
I like following sports, and I wanted to have a source that would be satisfying, and The Athletic gives me what I'm looking for. There's a plethora of content. There's so much stuff to read, and there's so many different perspectives. How could I lose? I love that The Athletic distracts me in a positive, refreshing, and entertaining manner. I really like that.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Hey, Joe. 5 on diesel, fountain pop, lunch. Hey, buddy, you all right? Stupid old work boots, clunky as bricks. You ought to get you some Brunt boots. Comfortable, lightweight, durable, and waterproof. You want to try them? Where's comfortable sneakers? Yeah, they are. I'll give them back. Hey! Who stole your boots?
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
At Domino's, we're on a mission to make sure our customers can always get hot pizza, even when the weather is not so hot. That's why we're plowing unplowed roads across the country, like this road, and this road, and Judy's road. Thanks. You're welcome, Judy. Nominate your town for plowing assistance at plowingforpizza.com so you can carry out 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each from Domino's, no matter the weather.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Perfect.
What did you get us?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Hurry in to lease a new 2024 Taos for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
Show me what you're cooking. Oh, let me see them moves. You got the whole world looking like the scene of kind of magic taking hold of
you. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free. Download now.
It is a tree. That's right, Dan. It's a tree.
Let's go see the tree.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Is that a tree more, by the way, this tree?
With a bunch of bulbs on it.
But
my neighbor's got a tree. It's not as big, but you don't have to go through the traffic.
That's true.
Traffic stinks.
I don't like traffic. Not a big fan.
It wasn't terrible today.
No, it really wasn't.
Like, we were expecting gloom and doom, but it really was manageable, somewhat manageable.
I mean, we hear it from Brandy almost every day since Thanksgiving. She said gridlock alert day, I think, every day. It kind of stops being gridlock alert if it's gridlock alert every day. That just means stop driving in New York City.
Yeah, I'm at the Garden tomorrow. I just was curious. Like, is tomorrow going to be busy? I don't know.
I think you'll be all right.
I expect 16,000 people there. Just avoid them.
I think, again, this is just like the list and everything else, just taking things very literally. Would you?
Rangers are an exciting hockey club.
Yeah.
Imagine if Connor McDavid was still there. They'd probably stream it.
That is true.
Well, it was McDavid.
Connor McDavid goes to the bathroom. They got to stream it someplace.
McDavid tours the Metro. So ESPN Plus had all 3 of those games. Ray Ferraro, I think, been on the sideline for every single on the ice for every single one.
And you've got a bet, right? Don't you have some parlays going?
Yeah. I need if McDavid gets 4 goals tonight, I hit one of them. So that's not probably gonna hit. And
it's not something you're rooting for.
Not at the present moment. I'm not. No, absolutely not.
Do you like the Rangers? You want them to win?
I would like the Rangers to win, yes. It's going to be a
Rangers.
fun game, though. Yeah, go Rangers. Hey, Don, how are you?
Do not touch Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Don and Dan.
Bob Costas was debating, I think, Don Trumpy.
Bob Trumpy?
Bob Trumpy, excuse me.
You know why you said that, right?
Because of Trump? Donald Trump?
No, because who was Bob Trumpy's partner for a long time on NBC?
Don Criqui.
Don Criqui.
Yeah,
There you
see?
go.
All right, thank you for saving me.
You two thinking together.
So what you did there as a friend was like, you know what your problem is, Don? You know too much football.
Wow.
You know what? I probably didn't even have to do that because I think he's been more antagonistic towards me today than the other way around.
Have you felt that way?
I know it to be
What was
true.
your first clue?
See? He agrees.
I don't think I would be.
No, I think
you jumped my list, which I'm very sensitive about.
I think Don takes his list very seriously.
Very
He's very
seriously.
protective of said list. Do you pay for your parking, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay,
Taken
good.
care of.
Yeah,
So
the
we're
two
done.
of you.
We're done for the year.
Done for the year.
Done for the year.
What
That
makes
was
you
the-
think?
No, actually, no, because stupid. No, yeah, next Thursday.
You're not going to pay?
Football game.
No, you're not going to pay for parking.
I'll be here before 7.
You could find
Dude,
a
we're on
spot.
the air. We're on the air at 6.
I'm here at 11 that day.
But you have to pay till 7, right? And we're going to be on the air at 6 o'clock, so I will have to pay for something.
That is it. You're going to be locked in, right, Don? Jets, Browns.
Well, listen, you could say I have a job to do.
Trivia? Gotta do that at some point?
Here's where I get a break. I'm off next week. So you'd say, well, at least for work, you got to watch Jets Commanders. I have a I'm going to bet that nothing's going to happen in that game that's going to be talked about 2 weeks later. So
Probably not.
I think I'm good.
What about
I'll
Jets,
check
Browns?
in. No, Jets. No, listen, that's
Greg's basically, or I mean, Greg. Don's basically saying, yeah, don't even listen to the recap, the post game, the nothing.
I think he'll listen to us. I think he appreciates us and what we do.
I listen to a lot of football because I'm out and about, and I listen to you guys.
Boot and a boot.
And right now, there's a very, very good possibility that my trivia will be live on Sunday because we haven't recorded anything.
Why didn't you record the trivia yet?
I forgot.
I forgot about it, too, when I did the podcast this morning, which would have been the logical time to do it. I could do it right now, but in front of you, but then that wouldn't be any good.
Did you tell him what happened last week?
You've got some time, though, right? No, you don't have any time.
Did you
gotta
tell him
get to
about
the garden.
my integrity last week in the trivia?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he knew.
Yeah.
I said Dan
I
could hear us.
spoiled the whole thing.
Could have.
Because Friday, when you did it Friday, you were home, I was here.
Right.
I'm sitting in this very spot. You're doing the podcast. I can hear said podcast in here. Then it's like, hey, you want to do the trivia? And I talked back to Anthony. In the talkback, I said, Anthony, I can hear everything before you did the trivia.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that he could hear because I forgot that we were in a little too technical. But the way that this is set up, if you're listening in program, you can hear everything. But I took you out of program, then he couldn't hear anything.
So I said I can hear this. So I didn't hear
because I
anything,
think
and that gives the heater even more credence.
But that
you wanted to throw cold water on.
Still, that shows that not only do you have integrity, that you're very competitive too. Like you don't want to get it on a cheat way like that.
100%.
We can do it live. We can do it before on Sunday. We'll talk about it.
You know what? Live trivia for like Christmas Eve, that might be some fun.
On the Christmas.
But we're jam-packed. How many spots do we have on Sunday?
2, right?
You know what? Here's the problem with the trivia.
The problem with the live trivia is you guys are home.
Right. And
That's
so
when
there's
things
a
get thrown
hell
out.
of a lot
I'm not going to
going
sit
on.
there for 2 hours waiting
Yeah, I don't
for
blame you.
something to open up. So I'll either record it
Wait,
before.
Ray sent the email right now. Yeah, I mean, we got...
Ray sent the email.
No, he did.
I know.
So we got like Tony Richardson on set at 11...
It was his birthday, you know.
Was it? Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was Tony Richardson.
At 11:45, which is generally when they're going to squeeze in the trivia. So, like, I don't want to do trivia with, like, Tony Richardson hanging out there because Tony Richardson's going to have this, like, confused look on his face. Like, why are they ignoring me?
I'm probably going to do it before the game. And what I might do Saturday, since I'll probably get to the Garden early, is maybe I'll do it from the Garden, give a little flavor.
Okay.
Record it Saturday from the Garden.
With the organist in the background,
Yeah,
maybe?
the whole 9.
Do it, like, during the game, while the action's going on. So, like, excuse me, Dave, while the Rangers are on the power play.
I think
and then
Dave
just
should
do the
participate.
trivia.
I don't think... listen, I don't know if I should say this on the air.
Go ahead.
But... Love Dave. But when you start, like, incorporating too much football...
Or other sport, non-hockey sports, really.
He wants you to stay focused.
I respect that out of Dave.
And it's not me, but I'm just saying, like, when all of a sudden they start talking down the line, like, Don, Vikings just... what was the big play with the Vikings beat the Saints in the playoffs?
The Immaculate Reception. Not the Immaculate Reception.
Yeah.
The Minneapolis Miracle.
Right.
Stephon Diggs.
I was in Pittsburgh. We were doing the game during that time, and it was a big thing, and they was like, can we focus on the game? And I get it. He wasn't talking to me. It's just like everybody else, because there's a game to be played. So I wouldn't mess with that.
And who threw that
in
pass,
the call.
by the way?
You know what? Dave's a pro's pro.
For the Minnesota Vikings?
To Stephon Diggs?
That would have to be Case Keenum?
That's correct, who's starting for the Texans again this week.
That's right, the 17th quarterback to start in Houston. Go ahead.
Hi, Dan.
The cheerleaders come out and do a routine like Happy Christmas, ya, ya, ya.
Jacob.
If I get nailed to the door like Martha Luther, I'll just take it.
I have more questions about that than I think I want to know.
That is the best.
How morbid do you think my analogies are?
I think it was great.
We're nailing people to doors.
Greg Buttle.
From the past.
You can actually what? Then he said, like, I'm not from the future, or I'm not from now, I'm from the past. Which is very, like, sci-fi.
If you missed Greg in hour 2, if you missed Joe's picks, those will be up shortly after our picks, and Dan actually participated as well. We got a pick from 45. Bear nowhere to be found. Bear's laid out, which is sad.
How hard is it to just give the Bear pick? Are we just trying to keep the illusion that he actually speaks the Bear? He just can't throw out a team from Brazil. Are we going to really just continue? We're going to continue to try to sell. The Bear is actually making.
Do you remember?
Get a Brazilian dog whisperer.
Do you remember one NBA trade deadline? We pretended that Bear was the insider.
Yeah.
And Peter's just yelling off mic, "Bear, who's next? What did Woj say?"
Right.
I think that was the Durant.
Yeah, I guess I'm exposing.
Good luck
the whole...
taking that bait.
Bear broke the Durant story.
From the past.
That's right, Greg. Oh, we had a fun day today. It's been a fun week. I've enjoyed the time with you guys.
Yes,
and I will miss you. And I will miss you next week. But I'm very excited to work with Ty and with Pat. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They're great. And I'm telling you, the people that are regulars to the Michael K. Show, they're both very talented.
Yes.
Very good.
So you'll have a good time with that.
And you're not going to be burned down on Thursday, right? You're going to have enough energy then to carry on and do that Jets-Browns
Will there be coffee?
Of course.
Then we'll be fine.
Oh, I have to get... Well, the onus and the responsibility is now shifted because he's usually the coffee guy. But he's going to be in studio, so he can't get...
Well, look, there's two people that can do it. Because Greg's going to bring food, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray or you can definitely get the coffee. And Ray usually asks, and you usually ask. So we'll get it done. It'll be fine.
We just got to get through this one first this weekend before you worry about Thursday.
Listen, I think we're very well prepared. We had our big meeting on Wednesday. We're ready to go.
True.
Interesting stuff from Vegas Aces coach Becky Hammond on NBA Today. You guys see this?
I did.
About the Knicks. Let's hear what she had to say.
They're not getting into that tier. They don't have enough personnel. They don't have the manpower that they need to hang with those guys. I think you're going to get a consistent team like they've been. They're a pretty good team. They're well coached. They're going to be on their defensive game. But at the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. And they're missing that at the end of the day if we're just getting down to brass taxes. Sorry.
I didn't want to disagree with Becky today, but they do have that dude.
Who?
Jalen Brunson.
No, he's too small.
But here's the thing, and that's
Didn't they say about you?
But you know
they
what?
Say that about you.
But
You're a Hall of Famer. I got a philosophy. Can I say my philosophy?
Go ahead.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash. You could go down the list. Steph Curry is the only.
But he's not that small. He's not that small. He's like 6'3".
But also, though, I mean, he's the greatest shooter to ever walk the planet. He's in an outlier class. Okay.
Isaiah Thomas says hi too, Becky.
I get what she's saying.
I do too. Dan, you disagree?
I mean, she's not wrong, but there are exceptions to every rule.
But isn't it a guard-driven league now?
It's a guard.
Or a wing league, perimeter-driven league?
And you're right, but what has our conversation been on this show and what we've talked about throughout? You said that the Knicks can make the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You think they could. Don thinks that's their ceiling. Why is that their ceiling? Because they don't have I think Jalen Brunson is on the verge of being a superstar. I think he's fantastic.
Yes.
But he is not the guy at the moment that's going to be going one-on-one with Jason Tatum, that's going to be able to put up points pound for pound with Jason Tatum, with Giannis, with Lillard. They don't have that guy. I don't think Becky's wrong. And she had to, and by the way, she almost issued essentially an apology, which I didn't think she had to, because she also said that she was a small basketball player, and people counted her out. Like, if you don't have that guy, you're not going to win. Steph Curry is the exception to the rule right here in this moment because he is somebody that was able to carry the Warriors as a smaller guard as the best player.
She didn't apologize, did she?
Not apology, but like, let me set the record straight, and she explained herself again.
But she didn't have to
walk back.
Yeah, but you don't have to walk it back.
No,
That's
I
her
don't.
opinion. I mean, nobody should be offended by it. Well, even if she's wrong, she has an opinion.
And really, like, who cares anyway? It's December the 22nd. You know how much basketball there still is to play? If she's right, she's wrong. Who cares?
But they are missing that player. And Brunson is a great player. And Brunson scored 50 points against Phoenix. But on a day-in, day-out basis, Brunson cannot do it himself. He's not that type of player.
Correct.
You need Randall. You need Barrett. You need everybody else to kind of come together. Now, Stockton and Malone was that Stockton was too small, or unfortunately for Utah, they had to get through the Bulls.
Right. And look, every fan base
probably win a couple of championships because there's no Michael Jordan.
Every fan base is going to be protective of their team that they think is good and that they think could go very far. But even Knicks fans who have called this show have said to us that they don't think that this team is going to be able to compete. Look, they're 0-5 against the Bucks and the Celtics. By the way, they get to play the Bucks 2 more times. Just the way
back to back.
I know, and one of them's on Christmas.
On the Christmas.
On the Christmas. On the Christmas. NBA's the Christmas schedule.
The baby Jesus.
Yes, the baby Jesus. Quite the win for the Rams last night. I'd say convincing, but again, we sweat out
it got
dicey.
A little dicey.
Got a little dicey, but Puka Nacua, another amazing game. Sean McVay says...
Rookie of the year?
Oh, that's what he said.
He's outstanding. No. You know, I mean, I couldn't be more grateful for the contributions, and, I mean, what a freaking run on the jet sweep. Has a bunch of plays through the pass game. You guys have seen it week in and week out. You know, you talk about that balance. You can't have the balance if you don't have receivers that are willing to dig out support and do some of the things that he does. You know, you see around the league, you know, Stroud's had a great year, but this guy is, he would get my vote.
Of course.
Wouldn't get Dan's,
say that. He won't. I think he thinks it's Stroud.
It's going to be C.J. Stroud.
I don't know if he doesn't play the rest of the year.
No, but I will say, let's give credit where credit's due, because at the time we kind of poked fun at it, and I didn't think the Rams were necessarily going to be very good this year. And remember, what was their motto? Like, you know, F them draft picks or whatever, you know, trading away and going all in to win that Super Bowl. When you find guys like Puka Nacua in the 5th round, right, and other pieces along the way, like the running back. Look at where they are right now. Yeah.
Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are Eastern Washington. He played Fordham. That's how low level FCS Eastern Washington Cooper Kupp was.
If you know how to draft, and as far as Matthew Stafford, you know, give him credit. Right? Look what Kupp was able to accomplish
the
under
last
him.
4 games. He's been unbelievable.
So, and the numbers that he put up in Detroit, which were ignored because they weren't a great team.
Right.
But, and listen, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but how about what Orlovsky said? He thinks he gives, of all the NFC teams, the team that's got the best shot to win in San Francisco, the LA Rams.
Would you want to play them right now as an NFC team in the first round? I'm going to say I don't think so. I'd be honest.
They're a little bit more efficient at home, so I mean, if they're coming into your building,
well, they just beat one of the leaders of the NFC South. So you think I would put them against any of the NFC South teams?
Well, I mean, the NFC South that's barely a division. When were the rumors though with the Jets that maybe they were kicking the tires on Matthew Stafford? Was that pre or post Rodgers injury? Like, was it back to like the offseason, like before they traded for Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. One of the guys they could have gotten with Derek Carr, all that stuff.
I don't think it was after, no. I know that they were struggling. They said, like, let's see what happens if they continue to struggle. And by the way,
remember, the Rams. I mean, the Rams started 3-6,
and they're just fine, by the way.
Because
that offense, because McVay's a genius, and that offense is very good.
And before anybody jumps Dan or me even saying what Dan said, he said best chance. Didn't say the Rams would do it, but the best chance to win in San Francisco. They're very familiar with each other. Stafford's a really good quarterback. They've got a pretty good defense. Philadelphia's a mess. Dallas doesn't win on the road.
I told you, even Detroit, I think I would give a shot to.
The Detroit Leon?
To go on the road.
I want to see what they do over the next 3 weeks.
Didn't Orlovsky agree with that yesterday, too, when we had him on?
Yeah.
He's going to back his Lions. Come on.
Dan Orlov.
That's right. Guys, I think it's time. We have a long list of games. It is time for Dan's favorite part of the show, Michael's favorite part of the show. Hope he's watching at home. The NFL announcer lineup. And we start tomorrow.
Announcers, people call games, they talk, they say blah, 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 football.
4:30, NBC AFC North vehicle. Pittsburgh at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what that is, guys? That's a baby eagle. Noah Eagle on the call, along with Todd Blackledge and Catherine Tappan. Jake Brown and QBs in their first 5 career starts are 13-35 straight up against the Steelers, but 2-1 straight up in the last 5 years. Under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers are 19-6-1 against the spread at home after allowing 30-plus points. The nightcap on
Can I ask a question
Saturday.
real quick to both of you guys?
Absolutely.
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. They're 7-7.
Is this the year?
Home Bengals, at Seattle, at Baltimore, and they have Mason Rudolph as their quarterback.
Losing season.
He's going to happen?
Here's a Greek stat from that game.
Please.
Browning can become the second quarterback since 1950 to record a passer rating of 95 or higher in each of his first 5 career starts, joining who?
Scott Mitchell.
No. Brock Purdy.
Wow.
So it hadn't happened since 1950.
It's going to happen twice.
2 quarterbacks just happened twice in back-to-back years.
8 o'clock, Peacock exclusive, no commercials in the fourth quarter, but there will be stoppages. You're out.
You know how I feel about that.
Well, Chargers hosting Buffalo. Mike Tirico on the call.
They still seem to resonate.
There are 3 teams.
Chris Collinsworth.
Bang. Right on the butt.
And Melissa Stark. The Bills have lost 6 straight night games against the spread and 5 straight night games at home against the spread. The Chargers, team to lose by 20-plus the week before, facing a team who didn't, are 91-64-1 against the spread since 2020. Let's go to Sunday, shall we?
Sunday.
Indianapolis traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. That's Adam Amin.
No stands erect.
Mark Schlereth.
I literally empty my bladder completely on the bench.
And Christina Pink. And Don, what does that mean?
That's a pink and stink vehicle.
That's right. Gardner Minshew's faced 8 teams above 500 in his career, and his teams are 2-8 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. Falcons 4-10 against the spread this season, second worst record in the NFL behind the... Who has a worse record against the spread this year?
Carolina.
New England Patriots.
Oh.
Another game on Fox. Green Bay at Carolina. Don, you smell that?
That's a repeat of the 1996 NFC Championship game.
That's not what I'm smelling. What are you smelling, Don?
I'm smelling hopefully 1 point.
Well, I'm thinking Thursday on a Sunday.
A Thursday on a Sunday?
Yeah, and you know who's got to call. And you know who's got to call that?
I would say Chris Myers.
I have Chris Myers. Robert Smith and Jen Hale.
Robert Smith.
Jordan Love 2-5.
Roberto, ven acá.
Jordan Love 2-5 against the spread against teams under 500. Panthers at home this season 2-3-1.
He misses Christian Watson. That's what he misses.
Against the spread. He does miss Christian Watson.
Yeah, no.
CBS 1 p.m. Cleveland at Houston. Not the game everybody expected with these 2 records, especially with the quarterbacks that are playing, Joe Flacco and Case Keenum. But it's on CBS. It's 1 o'clock, and now we have the grown-up Eagle.
Gobbledygook.
Charles Davis and our good friend Evan Washburn.
The lobby is bustling. There is an energy here.
Browns are 6-14 against the spread in their last 20 games after a win. Houston, teams coming off overtime, are now 130 and 160 straight up. 135, 153, and 2 against the spread in the last decade.
Don't you think the wheels are going to fall off eventually with the Flacco thing? Like a stinker's coming up, and it was almost last week. Remember, because the first 3 quarters,
the fourth quarter, yeah.
So and that stat you just gave is eye-opening. Dare I say, eye-popping. 130 and 160 straight up after an overtime game.
Yep.
So there you go. They lose games.
And they're under 500, and teams are under 500 against the spread. Detroit at Minnesota, another Fox vehicle. Who's on the call, Don?
That would be Kenny Albert.
Most people would probably not know that I could play the piano by ear.
Joined by his crew, Jonathan Vilma and Shannon Spake, as we like to call her here.
A lot of people thought that Jonathan Vilma was biased for his Saints in the Saint Giant game. I didn't hear it, but social media was a buzz.
Interesting.
It was what, 27-6, the final score?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. 24-6.
Was he going to find bad things to say when they're up by 3 scores?
I just think people just have a bias.
But it's always like that with every team. You know what I mean? If like an announcer has some sort of an affiliation with the club, they're going to think that they're...
It's not right.
No, it's bad.
In Jared Goff's career, he's 24-16-1 against the spread versus division opponents. Nick Mullins and Kevin O'Connell, Nick Mullins, of course, being the Minnesota starting quarterback, if you didn't know,
that's right,
are 5-6-1 against the spread as underdogs. Obviously not together. Nick Mullins probably had some of those when he was in San Francisco, but interesting that they're both 5-6-1 against the spread as underdogs. We go to our game, Dan.
Oh, baby.
We will be starting our coverage at 11 o'clock on 98.7 and the ESPN New York app. But on CBS at 1, the Jets will host Peter's Commies, and you know who's got to have that game.
That is Antetokounmpo.
Fordham's own Spiro Dides, followed by...
Going up and bringing it down for 6.
I don't have Boomer's Adam Golden Archuleta, but he's doing the game with the Didi King Wambala. No. Ron Rivera, 61-46-3 against the spread as an underdog. The Jets, teams after getting shut out, 30-13-3 against the spread, 70% since 2015.
2 touchdowns over/under Sunday. What do you think, Jets?
Under.
Yeah, under. You got to go under, no? I mean, it's a bad defense, but...
It's the worst offense against the worst defense. Something's got to give.
And by the way, that's Spiro Dides with...
Adam Golden Archuleta.
Thank you for the save. Jacob.
They do get after the quarterback, though.
They do. They do.
And the Jets are known not to protect the quarterback.
Spiro's family owned a diner by me. They had like the best pancakes in the area.
His heart is in the Jersey Shore.
What restaurant did we go to where we saw Spiro? Remember? Or his dad owns the restaurant we went to?
His family owned it.
We didn't see Spiro, but like you saw his dad.
Well, they owned the diner, and then they had something to do with that the place that's in business now. That was it, the Tap?
Yeah, on 22, right? Yeah, so... We're big Spiro guys.
But the diner was fantastic. I swear to God. And now it's gone, like, downhill. Like, I won't set foot in there. But the pancakes were to die for.
Love Spiro. And I did tease, of course, the CBS 1 o'clock vehicle. Seattle at Tennessee. You know who's on the call of that? You already heard it.
Going up high and bringing it down for 6.
He'll be joined by Tiki Barber.
My go-to karaoke song is Sunday Morning by Maroon 5.
Matt Ryan and A.J. Ross. Andrew Catalan, of course, being on the call with Tiki. Teams playing on the road on short rest. That would be the Seahawks this week. After a win in their previous game as an underdog, 30-71 straight up in their last 20 years.
Is there a stat for teams playing on the road on Christmas Eve?
I don't have it right here with me.
Distracted by maybe like the holiday rush and all those things?
It's something that you have to take into account, no doubt. Mike Vrabel versus teams on short rest, 7-8 straight up and against the spread. We move to the 4 o'clocks. Jacksonville travels to Tampa Bay. CBS 405. You know who's got that call.
And it will not be a good night.
Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins. Jaguars 6-1 against the spread on the road this season. While Baker is 14-24-1 against the spread at home in his career. That looks like a game that you'd want to bet Jacksonville. 425 on Fox. Arizona goes to the Bears. Kevin Kugler on the call, and he'll be joined by his good buddy Mark Sanchez.
Bobby Shelton's clearing out defenders faster than a teenager clears his search history on his web browser. Holy smokes.
And Laura Oakman. Kyler Murray, 23-14-2 against the spread as a road dog. Fields, 12-21-1 against the spread in his career. We're going to do these quickly now. Fox, 425. Dallas at Miami. Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olson, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi on the call. Dak, 7-0 against the spread, coming off a loss in his last 2 seasons. Tua, 4-0 against the spread at home against teams over 500 in his career. Something has to give there. Sunday night, everybody's going to be tuning in as they're wrapping their gifts. Don talked about it yesterday. NFL Network, 8:15. New England at Denver. Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Cherie Burris, and James Palmer on the call. Belichick in his career versus Russell Wilson, 1-3 straight up and against the spread. Denver, teams traveling from a road Eastern Standard Time game home to a Mountain Time or Pacific Time game, 55-81 against the spread since 2015. Where are you getting that?
Stat there.
Where are you getting those from?
Nowhere.
Monday night, not just Monday night. 3 Monday games on the Christmas. Vegas at Cincinnati, CBS and Nickelodeon at 1 o'clock p.m. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. On Nickelodeon, you have Noah Eagle, Nate Burleson, and Dylan Schefter. Yes, Adam Schefter's daughter. Teams that have scored 55-plus points in their last game, that would be the Raiders, are 3-10-1 against the spread since 2011. Mahomes just 9-15 against the spread after a straight-up win dating back to 2022. 2 more games in 15 seconds. We're going to say goodbye to Yes here. We're going to pick it up in the new year with Yes, so enjoy that. The Giants, of course, traveling to Finland.
That's a wrap on the show for today, this week, and this year. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. Enjoy your holidays. We will see you after the new year on January 2nd.